The atmosphere at BTS's Day 1 concert in East Baltimore became even more intriguing when fans noticed what appeared to be an unusual distance between Jimin and Jungkook during several moments on the massive concert stage. Amid dazzling lights, powerful choreography, and thousands of ARMY watching every move, the two members seemed to repeatedly avoid direct interaction, immediately sparking questions across the fandom. Instead of the familiar, playful moments fans often associate with Jimin and Jungkook, some viewers felt that their movements appeared noticeably restrained. During certain parts of the performance, they seemed to move in different directions or focus on their own positions rather than approaching each other. For fans watching closely, the contrast was impossible not to notice. But what was really happening between them? Was it simply part of the choreography, stage blocking, or a coincidence created by the enormous concert production? With BTS performing on a spectacular stage filled with complex formations, lighting effects, dancers, and camera cues, even small differences in positioning can easily appear more dramatic from the audience's perspective. Still, the moment quickly became a topic of discussion among ARMY. Fans began replaying performance clips and examining every glance, movement, and change in position between Jimin and Jungkook. Some wondered whether there was a deeper reason behind the apparent distance, while others urged everyone not to draw conclusions from a few seconds of stage footage. What made the situation even more interesting was the emotional intensity of the concert itself. BTS were performing in front of a huge crowd, and every member was under enormous attention. In an environment like that, even a brief moment without interaction can become a major talking point, especially when fans are already familiar with the close bond and playful chemistry often seen between Jimin and Jungkook. At this point, however, there is no confirmed evidence that Jimin and Jungkook were actually avoiding each other because of a disagreement. Their apparent distance could have been completely intentional for the choreography or simply the result of stage positioning. What fans saw may tell only a small part of what was happening behind the scenes. So, was there really something unusual between Jimin and Jungkook during BTS's spectacular Day 1 performance in East Baltimore? Or did fans simply notice a moment that looked different from what they expected? As clips from the concert continue to circulate, ARMY are left watching closely and wondering whether the next performance will reveal a completely different dynamic. For ARMY, who have followed BTS closely, the dynamic between Jimin and Jungkook has often been one of the most closely watched parts of their performances. Fans are accustomed to seeing the two share playful moments, exchange glances, stand near each other, or react naturally to one another while performing. That familiar chemistry has become something many viewers instinctively look for whenever BTS takes the stage. That is why even a small difference during the Day 1 concert in East Baltimore could immediately catch fans' attention. When Jimin and Jungkook appeared to spend certain moments focused on different parts of the stage, some viewers felt that the atmosphere looked noticeably different from what they were used to seeing. It may have been nothing more than choreography or stage positioning, but the contrast was enough to make fans look twice. The enormous scale of the concert also made every movement more visible. With massive screens, powerful lighting, multiple camera angles, and carefully arranged formations, even a brief moment between two members can quickly become a subject of discussion. For fans familiar with Jimin and Jungkook's usual interactions, the absence of those familiar exchanges could feel surprisingly noticeable. Some ARMY may therefore find themselves asking whether there was a simple explanation behind the difference. Was the choreography designed to keep them apart at certain moments? Were they simply concentrating on their individual performances? Or was there something else happening that fans could not see from the audience? At this stage, there is no confirmed evidence that their distance represented tension or disagreement. Ultimately, what made the moment so intriguing was the contrast. With the chemistry fans have come to expect from Jimin and Jungkook, a single performance cannot explain their relationship or reveal what happens behind the scenes, but it can certainly create curiosity. And now, many fans may be watching the next BTS performance even more closely, wondering whether Jimin and Jungkook will return to their familiar interactions or leave ARMY with even more questions. One of the most intriguing details from BTS's Day 1 performance in East Baltimore was not necessarily what the cameras showed, but what they seemed to miss. During several moments when Jimin and Jungkook were positioned relatively close to each other, the camera appeared to move away before any clear interaction between them could be captured. For fans watching closely, those brief changes in camera direction only created more questions. In a concert filled with spectacular lighting, massive screens, and rapid camera transitions, this could easily have been part of the normal production. Yet for viewers already paying attention to the apparent distance between Jimin and Jungkook, the timing felt particularly noticeable. Just as fans seemed ready to see whether the two would exchange a glance or interact, the focus shifted somewhere else on the stage. That naturally led to speculation among some viewers. Was there simply nothing to capture? Or did the camera move away at a moment that could have revealed something interesting? Fans could only see what the broadcast or audience cameras chose to show, meaning countless small interactions may have happened outside the frame. This makes it impossible to know exactly what was happening between the two members during those brief moments. The mystery becomes even more compelling because Jimin and Jungkook are often closely watched for their spontaneous reactions during BTS performances. A simple glance, smile, gesture, or playful exchange can quickly become a memorable concert moment. So when the camera suddenly changes direction, fans familiar with their usual chemistry may naturally wonder whether they just missed something that happened seconds earlier. For now, however, there is no confirmed evidence that the camera deliberately avoided showing Jimin and Jungkook or that anything unusual happened between them. It could have been nothing more than normal stage direction and live production timing, but that unanswered possibility is exactly what keeps fans watching the footage again and asking the same question. Was there something happening between Jimin and Jungkook that fans simply didn't get to see? The contrast became even more noticeable because of the chemistry fans have come to associate with Jimin and Jungkook. Whenever BTS performs, many ARMY naturally expect moments of laughter, playful reactions, quick glances, or small interactions between the two. Those familiar moments have become part of what makes watching them on stage so captivating. That is why the apparent distance during the Day 1 concert in East Baltimore felt more striking to some viewers. On a massive stage surrounded by dazzling lights, roaring fans, and powerful performances, Jimin and Jungkook seemed to spend certain moments focused on separate areas, rather than interacting directly. The difference may have been completely natural, but compared with fans' expectations, it created a surprisingly dramatic contrast. The more familiar the chemistry, the more noticeable its absence can become. A brief moment without interaction might normally mean nothing, but when fans are accustomed to seeing two members constantly sharing small reactions, even a few seconds of distance can suddenly feel significant. Viewers may find themselves replaying the performance, looking for a smile, a glance, or any subtle sign that might explain what they saw. Of course, stage choreography can easily create this kind of situation. BTS performances involve precise formations, camera movements, lighting cues, and individual positions that can change within seconds. Therefore, what appeared to be distance does not necessarily mean there was tension between Jimin and Jungkook. There is currently no confirmed evidence that the two were avoiding each other because of a personal issue. Still, that contrast is what makes the moment so intriguing. Fans entered the concert expecting the energy and chemistry they have seen countless times before, yet some moments appeared to offer something noticeably different. Was it simply choreography, an ordinary stage decision, or a moment that fans misunderstood from the audience? Until there is more context, the mystery remains, and that may be exactly why so many viewers are paying closer attention to every interaction between Jimin and Jungkook. As clips from BTS's Day 1 performance in East Baltimore began drawing attention, some ARMY may naturally have started looking beyond the obvious moments and focusing on the smallest details. Rather than simply watching the entire performance, fans could find themselves studying individual movements, glances, and changes in position between Jimin and Jungkook, wondering whether the apparent distance was actually as significant as it first seemed. Different camera angles can also create very different impressions. A wide shot may show Jimin and Jungkook standing far apart, while another angle could reveal that they were simply following different choreography paths. By comparing available clips from different perspectives, fans can sometimes discover details that are impossible to notice from a single recording. This kind of close observation can make even a few seconds of footage feel much more important. Fans might pause a clip just before the camera changes, replay a particular movement, or compare one section of the performance with another. Was Jimin looking in Jungkook's direction? Did Jungkook simply move toward another part of the stage? Or were both members completely focused on their assigned positions? At the same time, different perspectives can also serve as a reminder that short concert clips do not always tell the complete story. A camera may capture one expression while missing what happened immediately before or afterward, without the full performance context. It can be easy for viewers to interpret ordinary stage movements as something more meaningful than they actually were. For now, there is no confirmed indication that Jimin and Jungkook were intentionally avoiding each other or that their interactions reflected a personal disagreement. What fans are seeing may simply be the result of choreography, camera direction, or the natural complexity of a huge live production. But as ARMY continue examining the available footage from different angles, one question remains. Did the cameras capture the whole story? Or are there small moments that fans still haven't seen clearly? As fans continue looking back at the day one performance, the apparent distance between Jimin and Jungkook remains one of the details that has attracted curiosity. What looked like a few ordinary moments on a massive concert stage can feel very different when viewed repeatedly, especially by fans who are familiar with their usual interactions. The question becomes even more interesting when those moments are placed alongside the rest of the performance. Was the distance simply caused by choreography, stage formations, and carefully timed camera movements? Or did something happen before or during the performance that fans simply could not see from their seats or through the available footage? There is also the possibility that nothing unusual happened at all. Live performances are highly coordinated productions, and BTS members constantly move between different formations and positions. A brief lack of interaction between two members does not automatically indicate tension, disagreement, or a hidden story. Yet uncertainty is exactly what makes these moments so fascinating. Fans can analyze different camera angles, compare movements, and replay individual sections, but without direct confirmation from Jimin, Jungkook, or BTS. The true meaning behind those brief moments remains unknown. And perhaps that leaves the biggest question of all. Was this simply choreography, or was there a story behind those brief moments that fans still don't know about? Until more context emerges, the answer remains open, leaving ARMY wondering whether the next BTS performance will bring clarity or create an even bigger mystery.